This is a story of two friends and an epic adventure they shared in the Boundary Waters, USA in the early fall of 2022.
Not living up to its name.
This week's episode ends over 1,000 miles from where it starts, in the hustle and bustle of the Nashville airport.
That's a big bag. Look at that. If that's not an omen.
Away with the boarding group number.
Nice. Moving away with the boarding group numbers.
Ladies and gentlemen, United Airlines welcomes you to Duluth.
Due to delays at the Nashville airport, we arrived in Duluth late that night and made it to our hotel around midnight. The next morning, in high spirits, we started our 2-hour drive north to the Boundary Waters. Brent used the time in the car to his advantage as it wasn't yet 11 o'clock. Coming in here on Snowbank Lake Road, and we're going to paddle across to here and do this portage into Parent Lake, and then we're going to paddle over here and portage here into Disappointment Lake. Then we're going to come up in all the way through here, and then there'll be a portage across here. I guess there's like a little portage to get across, and then across here and across here. Trying to get all the way up into here today if we can. Sunset's supposed to be at 7:30, and we probably won't be on the water till noon, so we'll see how it goes.
We're at the edge of the lake. We're getting ready to take off. This is Snowbank Lake in the Boundary Waters. Pretty excited about it. I think we packed pretty well. Like, I know it feels like we have a lot of stuff, but I feel like we can do the portage pretty straightforward. Anyways, that's it. We're getting ready to go. So this is where we are right now, and we want to come around this tip of that to get to that first portage, which is right in there. So that's where we're going first. When we got to the middle of Snowbank Lake, it was pretty windy, but we made it to the Parent Lake portage with no problems, and then experienced the joys of our first portage. Portaging is fun.
Portaging is fun.
We actually made all of our portages in 2 trips, taking the large packs in the first trip, and then going back for the canoe and the lighter packs.
The next portage is just about the same. This one was 80, the next one's 85 rods. And that'll take us into Disappointment Lake. There's all kinds of campsites on Disappointment Lake, so we should probably just look for one there. Parent Lake was an easy paddle with the wind in our backs the whole way. We didn't really even think about stopping here. We just finished our second paddle and we're getting ready to go on our second portage. Then we're going to be into Disappointment Lake. I'm not sure why they call it that. Had to take a break. This is epic. It's funny, they measure canoe portages in rods, which is like the length of a canoe. And it's this is 85 rods. Of course, I'm having to carry the whole canoe and drag Brent along, practically carrying him too. So
That's right.
there'll probably be like a few more.
I was taking a break in the canoe earlier. You didn't even notice.
That was fun. I love portaging. Portaging is fun.
Portages suck.
Portaging.
When you're carrying 120 pounds in your bag full of food and whiskey, no, I'm not saying it's not my fault.
I actually said that sarcastically, but it really was. I'm so happy to be here right now. This is Disappointment Lake that I'm standing in, and
Are you disappointed?
I'm not really. I'm so happy to be here.
It's not living up to its name.
I don't know why they call it that. I'm not disappointed at all. But there are several campsites on this lake, and we're going to go check them out and try to find a campsite on this lake for the night. We thought we were being conservative when we decided to stop and camp at Disappointment Lake, but as we paddled across and checked each of its 8 campsites, we found that they were all already full. Well, we found out why they call it Disappointment Lake. We just canoed all the way across the sky. It's a pretty long lake, and every single campsite on it was full. We kept going from site to site. They were all full. So now we have another portage, a quick one. We're starting to run out of daylight, so we're kind of in a fine spot before we miss the light.
Let's go.
There's supposed to be one campsite right over there. This is the portage that we just did, so we should be like right here.
Yep.
So there's like one that's going to be right around this point, but there's another one that we should see. Like
Yeah.
right, it's like right over on the other side of that. Like we should be able to see it from here. All right, so let's go check that one out, and then we'll go check this one out.
Perfect.
Both campsites on Ossip Lake were already full, so we headed to the Jitterbug Lake portage, knowing that we now had 3 lakes to paddle and 4 portages to make to get to Jordan Lake and its 3 campsites.
Disappointment Lake was full. The next no-name lake was full. Now we're heading over to the Jordan.
We paddled across Jitterbug Lake and then did the portage from Jitterbug into Adventure Lake. We made the Adventure Lake paddle and did the portage from Adventure into Catamount Lake. Did the Catamount Lake paddle and the portage from Catamount into Jordan Lake. We finally made it into Jordan Lake with very little daylight left, and checking all 3 campsites on that lake, found them all to be full. So we paddled hard for the Ema Lake portage. We made that portage and watched the sunset as we made it onto Ema Lake. The first 3 campsites we checked on Ema were also full, but we finally found a spot to stop, and we set up our tents in the dark and had a great evening, including a visit from one of the very friendly locals.
Hey, buddy. Bud. Just chilling.
Brentster doing some cooking,
That's
campfire cooking. We just double filtered some water from the lake, boiled it, and now we're cooking.
We're cooking.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Literally.
What's that you got to drink there? Beverage?
This is Grandma's sweet tea.
Nice.
Grandma Edna's sweet tea. Just kidding. She probably never drank this in her life. Sweet woman, Edna.
We're gonna have a nice dinner here, and then we're gonna hang our food.
That's right.
What are you cooking, Brent?
It's an old world recipe passed down from generation to generation. My great grandma Hazel passed it down to my grandma Edna over the years, and before she died, Grandma Edna sealed this meal into a butcher paper satchel.
Nice.
Buried it and froze it in the ice. It was in Alaska, and I've been saving it for a special occasion. So I dug it up. It looked a little bit different than I expected. Creamy beef and noodles with mushrooms. Classic old world recipe. See, I wasn't wrong.
Nice.
With pasta, beef, and mushrooms. And a rich mushrooms. And a rich sour cream sauce. All you got to do is add water.
I actually know it's delicious because I'm having some.
Oh, look at you. Well, great minds think alike.
Look at that. Delicious. I added a little salt and pepper too. Yep. What did you already have?
I had stroganoff.
Beef stroganoff. There we go.
Nice.
Just had a pretty good dinner and had a little whiskey and just chilling now.
About to have a little more.
Yep. Brent has promised to finish this whole bottle.
Well, I don't know about all tonight, but it'll be gone soon.
It was a lovely day. We're like way out in the wilderness, and which is
We
where
are
we
way
wanted to
out.
be.
That's a nice one.
Oh, the sky just cleared up a little bit, and I can see some stars up there now too.
Oh, yeah. We're feasting.
Yeah, we just had a feast. We had cheese and crackers and a couple of camp meals. Brent's having 2 of those. I just ate the one. I had creamy beef and noodles with mushrooms, and it filled me up. It was great. I had a bunch of cheese and crackers.
I had some stroganoff, and then now I'm about to eat what you ate. The creamy beef with mushrooms or whatever. I might go for a third. We'll see.
He's gonna eat all the camp.
I'm so hungry. It also decreases the weight in our packs. This looks very creamy.
I put some salt and pepper in mine.
Nice.
I recommend it.
I'll do it.
The texture of everything in there except the meat was amazing. I think the flavor was a 9.
Oh.
And the texture was a 9 except for the meat. But as long as you don't think of it as meat, it was delicious too. It was just like something kind of crunchy.
Some jokes come to mind here that I'm going to keep to myself. Well.
As long as you don't think of it as meat.
Where is that salt and pep?
Yeah.
Oh. Efficient. Thank you. Let's pep it up. Put a little pep in your step, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna over-pepped.
I guess what we have left to do is just to hang our food. It's all in that bag after we're done eating and chilling here. Little guy's been like visiting us all night. Hey, buddy.
What's up, little dude?
You want some creamy beef and mushrooms? Want some whiskey?
I bet he'd love some whiskey.
Oh, you know you want the whiskey, dude. That's probably why you're here. It's like, can I just try that? It was raining the next morning, so we spent a little time setting up the tarp and organizing the camp before breakfast. Eat to your heart's content, because it's less to carry.
That's right. What's on the menu for breakfast, Jim?
We are having shredded potatoes, scrambled eggs, mixed with pork sausage, peppers and onions. And we're actually having some other sausage, which we're kind of knocking on right now. It's delicious. Sitting here a million miles away from everything. Out in the rain. Under our tarp.
That's right.
The rain stopped a little later, and we went out for several hours in the canoe to fish. We tried minnows and leeches and many kinds of artificial lures with little luck, with the single exception of one legendary encounter with a legendary fish whose size was the stuff of legend. Brent actually caught a really nice one. It was probably probably a 30-inch northern, and got it right up to the boats, and I tried to grab it. And future Jim, would you mind posting a picture of the last time you did this, so you can see what happened? So I want everyone to see what happened. There's like the hook embedded in my finger,
Yes.
like past the barb, because like what happens when you have these lures with the three treble hooks, and you get the northern and it shakes its head, you can end up really easily getting the barb in your finger. And I've done it. My one of my other friends, Ed, who's like a master fisherman, has done it. Future Jim, will you show the picture of Ed's finger too, like right here, with Ed's finger with the hook in it?
Here you go with your time travel things again.
Yes.
Can I say something to future Brent?
Go ahead.
Future Brent, it's time to forgive Jim for not netting that northern. You've lived in silent bitterness long enough.
I know he really wanted the picture.
Forgive him.
I'm gonna make this picture for you. Can you just can you go like this and hold your hands up but look at look right at the camera and like as if you're holding a fish. Yeah, like a big happy thing. All right, now future Jim, will you like Photoshop a fish on there for Brent so he can have his
I
picture?
wish you would, if you can.
Oh my God, look at that!
Oh, that's amazing!
Isn't that amazing?
Good job, future Jim.
God, future Jim,
I'm
you're the
gonna
best.
knuckle past Jim because it's the closest to future Jim I can get. It's hard to believe.
Just so you all know, like that fish was much bigger than the fish that Brent actually caught today, but.
And an insult to injury.
Hey, it's because I know that future Jim is going to give you a huge freaking fish.
He better.
Man.
Future Jim had better come.
You know what he's actually going to do is he's going to take a picture. He's going to take a picture of Ed holding a fish like this, where it's
right
a
here.
real picture. And like chop out the fish and put it in your hands. Hey, I think you owe Ed a thanks for that fish.
I don't know, do I?
Really, you do, yeah.
So I get no recognition of my first northern.
He caught a very nice northern today.
I have to say, I detected not a small amount of judgment as soon as you realized that it was a northern. Not a small amount. I would say you were crestfallen, but that wouldn't be enough.
He brought this fish in, and it was just at a depth where I couldn't see it clearly. But there was a second there where it swam under the canoe. I thought it was a walleye. And it would have been a very, very nice walleye if had that been a walleye. And then I said, oh, it's a northern. They do stink.
You're like, oh, it's a northern. And I was like, oh my gosh, my first pike. And I was like, I've always wanted to see one up close. And you're like, well,
hey,
you're gonna
it was
see
fun catching it, wasn't it? It pulled your.
It was.
It pulled the line out.
No, it fought hard. That was a hard fight.
Good job, Brent.
Thank you.
Good job, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And then after you handled it, well, I don't know. Would you say you handled it?
I had my
Did
hand
you touch
in the
it?
gill. I did.
Oh, you did?
I had my hand
Hold
in
on
there.
a second. You had your hand in the gill?
I did.
And it still slipped away?
It did because I pulled my hand away. Don't we have it on video?
Thank you for admitting it.
You said start recording, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I spoke
show
to
the
the
video.
Osmo.
Let's see what happened.
I don't know if it made it onto the video because it was like off to the side of the canoe. I don't know if it's on there. Hopefully you'll at least see the little snout. This is what I was going to say earlier. When you let that pike slip through your fingers.
If that was a walleye, dude, I would have jumped in the water and wrapped my arms around it.
When the pike
But it was a
performed the escape act that it did, you looked at me and you said, "Doesn't that smell bad?"
It did. Hey, all right. It's time to get real. Like, it was a 30-inch northern, Brent. Like, Brent needs to fish a little bit more. It's not worth a hook in the hey, future Jim, will you show the picture of the hook in the
Why
finger?
is it that...
It's not worth it.
No more. No
It's
more pictures. I fished a lot.
I'm sorry. Brent has fished,
I've never caught a pike, though.
but he just hasn't caught a pike.
I'm from
That's
Alaska.
okay. I've never caught a salmon.
We're at
He's
salmon
caught
and
many.
halibut. I want you to know I'm just kidding. I don't actually care. It's all right. I got to see it. I saw its face come out of the water. I saw it go into the net a little bit. That was enough.
You got more than Ed got on his shark.
That's true.
And we count that as a legitimate catch.
That's true.
Hey, future Jim, would you show the video? Would you show a little bit of the clip of all of us? Brent, Carrie, Earl, Ed.
I can't see it.
Look at you.
He's right here.
There it is.
He's right there.
He's not even hooked in the snow.
Can you see it, Ed?
Yeah, now I can.
You know what? This is to Brent. This is to your fish, Brent.
To my fish.
Cheers to your fish.
To my escaped northern. To the picture that never was. To the moment. To the memory.
To the picture. Yes. Cheers.
The only fish we'll ever catch on this trip.
Thanks a lot for watching, and be sure to tune in next week for episode 2, where you'll hear Brent say,
I caught that spoon. If you married my mom.
Jim, you're committed.
You gotta eat it, dude.